So what is context in AI? Basically, context represents the information an AI model can see and process at one glance. Think of it as a model's active working memory. In the first session, we discussed about temporary and permanent memory, and we saw a few examples about that. So context deals with the temporary memory that a model has, and that is something that we need to manage while we are using any model or implementing code with the help of any model. Doing basically anything with any model, we have to manage the context, and that is the biggest challenge with anyone who is working with AI. So there is a scope for managing the context, and there is always a context window. So what is information scope? All the data the model refers to during a single interaction. For example, we have multiple chats in ChatGPT. All the other AI models have the similar format. If you want to discuss something new, you can just create a new chat, and through that you can start discussing new things. But if you want to come back to a previous chat or previous topic, then you have to switch the chat. You have to switch the chat and come back to the previous topic, and then you can continue from there. If you do all the chats, all the discussions, and all the topics in one single chat,
Okay.
then you will find that AI model, it is hard for the model to understand what you are exactly referring to. So if you want the model to respond properly, you have to pinpoint at the exact topic what we are discussing. So for example, today you are discussing about, let's say, machine learning. You had a good chat today, so you closed chat GPT, you understood a lot of things. Tomorrow you opened the same chat and started discussing about deep learning. So maybe the topics are related to each other, but still it's a different topic.
Okay.
They're related, but not the same. Day after that, you open the exact same chat and suddenly start talking about stock market or marketing or content writing, something which is at all not at all related to the previous topics. So in one chat, all these other different topics are stacked on each other, and the context window keeps filling up with different tokens.
Okay.
And suddenly after fourth fifth day you ask that something about machine learning that ChatGPT told you, and you say that you said this about machine learning and I wanted to understand this properly. Can you explain it to me again in this kind of language? Then ChatGPT might not be able to explain it to you properly because the context window has lost. It has been
Okay.
removed
Correct.
completely. So the context window here is basically the container that holds this short-term memory, and the response consistency that basically determines how coherent or relevant outputs will be, right?
Okay.
Okay. And yeah, with GitHub, you can, or GitHub Copilot, you can also add source files to the context.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Is this also possible with ChatGPT or not?
Which files?
Source files, source
Code
code.
source.
Source code.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
yeah. With
open
ChatGPT, you can add.
source code in the IDE and say, okay, use this with in the context.
Yes. So that does help in terms of Copilot when you're using an IDE with Copilot. But when we are using ChatGPT itself, not connected to any IDE, then we can upload the source files, and that is read and understood by ChatGPT. But the tokens generated for understanding that, because that basically is treated as a prompt itself. Even if you upload a
Okay.
file, the code in that file is also treated as a prompt, and whatever you write on top of that is also treated as a prompt. So everything is converted into tokens, and tokens are the basically the memory of AI models. So both tokens, the tokens that have been given as a prompt and tokens that have been generated by an AI model as a response. So everything you see on any chat screen is all tokens for the AI model. Even if it
Okay.
sounds like a real English language to you, it is tokens for the AI model. So yes, you can upload source code and files, and that will be added to the context in terms of tokens, right?
Okay.
So this is what context is in terms of AI. So if we compare it to the traditional programming language like we just did with Java, so for programming, context is basically variable scope and lifetime when a variable is created. If let's say a variable is created when a function is called, only when a function is called or a method is called, and then as long as that method is running, that variable has the scope, and once that method is completed, that the runtime is completed or the lifetime of that method is done, then that variable does not exist. So the context of that variable is limited to the scope of that method. Out of that, that variable is not available. uh, Function call stack and memory allocation states, these are the traditional programming contexts, right? In AI context, uh, Ajit, I mean, is there somebody behind you?
No.
Okay, anyways, let's continue. So in AI context, tokens in current conversation, no permanent storage and overflow causes data loss. So now all these three things, if you have had long chats with any of the AI models, you would have experienced this because AI starts going off track. So we are going to see a simple visualization of this, how this happens. That way you will understand how tokens are processed, and when I say token window, what exactly I mean when I say token window. Okay.
Okay.
So when
Okay.
context window overflows, earlier data is permanently forgotten, just like local variables disappearing when the function execution ends,
Okay.
right? The effect is similar in terms of tokens. It forgets the token, so it cannot respond based on that. In terms of executed, finished functions or execution lifetime finished functions, it removes that data from the memory. So ultimate outcome is the same. The data is basically removed from the temporary memory. That's why it is not accessible. So how these context windows work? They basically, uh, you know, first is token consumption. So both inputs and outputs consume valuable tokens from your window. So model has limitations, and now every model has different limitations, right? GPT-4 has 8K to 32K of token window, or the context window we can say. Claude has 100 to 200K of token window, right?
Okay.
So it can remember up to 200,000 tokens in one conversation. If there are more tokens, then it will start forgetting the initial ones. Okay.
Okay.
And with
So
Claude, it's every model of Claude with 100
uh,
to 200,000
no, it's
tokens.
different for every model. It's different for it. So it has given the range for Claude 100 to 200,000. So all the models of Claude fall between this range, and GPT-4 has a range of 8K to 32,000 tokens. So all the models that go under GPT-4 have this range right now. But this changes with every version, because larger the context window, it becomes the model becomes slower. So smaller the context window, model becomes faster. It seems like the same model with a smaller context window works fast because it has to remember fewer things. So it responds very quickly. So right now the largest token window is for Google Gemini, and that's why the Gemini sometimes feels like it is slow compared to other models, but it has better retention rate of memory due to the largest context window. And when the tokens are overflown, so when it is full, basically the oldest tokens are dropped first, causing the AI to forget things. Okay.
Okay.
So when we saw the persona prompt, that assume that you are a university professor, or you are this, you are that, you are a research person, that kind of thing. If we do that in the first prompt itself, and if the token window is overflown, then the first thing that the AI model forgets is the persona.
Okay.
And How many tokens are with GPT-5?
GPT-5, it says 128,000 tokens. That is the first
Okay.
token window.
So the limitations are only interesting if you get real long chats.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
yeah,
But I think we
I
need
would
to have.
also forget the start of the chat if
Yeah.
it's
Right.
too long.
But it's a technology. It should not forget it.
Yeah, that's one of the limitations right now,
Hmm.
that it has a token window. But today we are going to learn the methods of managing that. Even if it has that limitation, we can use that limitation for our benefit sometimes, and we
Okay.
can use that limitation, in a way that we won't let it forget. So we'll create a something kind of a summary or a recap of the entire chat to keep it, so that will stay in the context window, within the
Right.
context window, so that it won't forget the entire chat at once, and we will
Okay.
not have to go back again and again and explain everything at the time.
Okay.
So tokenization, again, we'll just quickly revisit the tokenization process. AI processes tokens, not words. So we saw that if there is a sentence, that it will divide the sentence into smaller words, and all the words look like they are tokens. So AI basically understands everything in terms of tokens. So if we just say cat, it is a simple word which is a single token. But if it's a word called internationalization, so it's a complex word like we had kindergarten, but it has multiple tokens. Like internationalization word can be divided into 6 different tokens, and it understands every token individually, and then clubs it to understand it is one word. This is the traditional, or I would say this is the common method for all the models, and
Okay.
that's why when if you use longer words, or if you use any, sorry, what happened? Yeah, if you use any long words or long sentences, or if you put up too much information into your prompts, and you also ask to give long responses, like if you say that write me an essay of 5,000 words, then
Okay.
it won't probably write the entire essay in one go. It will write it in small chunks of, let's say, 5 to 600 words in one chunk. But you will very quickly overflow the token window, because you are not just sending long prompts, you are just also receiving the long responses, so the token window will also be overflown very quickly.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so just to give an example, visual example, this is what tokenization refresher means. Okay, I'm not sure if the text written under the image is visible or not, but I'll still read it for you. So in the first row, the window shows tokens T1 through T8, which is the current context.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Now there are tokens up till T20, T1 to T20. Okay. And let's say from T1 to T20, the token window is only up to T8. So everything after T20, T8 till T20 is forgotten or not in the scope right now, not in the memory right now. Okay. But if we move ahead and add more tokens into it, let's say we add 4 more tokens. So what will happen is the context window, that is the blue line, the blue box that you can see, that context window will move ahead 4 steps. It will forget the first 4 tokens, and it will take up 4 new tokens. And now the context window is only between T5 and T12,
Okay.
right? So if you add more tokens to it, let's say if you add 5, 6, 7 more tokens to it, then it will take all those tokens, and all the tokens that were given initially from T1 to T12, it will forget all that, and it will add more tokens from T13 to T20. So the blue box that you see is basically the context window, or the size of the token capacity of that AI model. And as you keep adding more tokens, the window keeps moving ahead, forgetting everything in the back. So whatever you see in the blue box is what AI model remembers, Whatever is behind the box is forgotten, and whatever is ahead of the box is upcoming prompt that hasn't been put into the memory yet.
But my question is,
Yes.
why this is random? I'm just looking at, like, for an example. Oh, okay, these are the three same lines, but just a different demonstration of three
And
different
Yeah,
dates.
yeah,
I
yeah.
Okay, okay,
I
okay.
Just a
think
second.
it
Let me.
means you have
Uh-huh.
only the first 8 tokens, then
Okay.
you add 4 tokens, then it forgets
Yes.
the first four, and if you add 8 tokens
See,
afterwards, it forgets all the tokens before.
right. So I also
Okay.
have a interactive thing done for this. I was, when I was working on this PPT today,
Mm-hmm.
I thought that I would create something that would help understand what exactly is happening. So this is something I have created.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this is a interactive context window simulation. So this is the dot where, now, let's consider that we start a new chat in ChatGPT. Nothing
Okay.
has been put. It's a clean chat like this one. Nothing has been put. Everything is empty. So right now the active tokens are 0 out of 128. Let's say 128 is the maximum token limit that AI model has. So we have up to 1000 tokens here before the system crashes. And currently the processed tokens are 0 because nothing has been put in, right? So we will click on this. And as I keep moving ahead, right now we have added only 10 tokens, and out of which the first T0 is processed, which is the active token. Okay. So from T1 to T10, these tokens are available, but they haven't been yet processed yet. They are not in the memory yet. Okay. So they are upcoming tokens. You can see the color based on that. So let's move
What
ahead.
means upcoming tokens?
Upcoming tokens means those tokens are probably in the prompt, but they haven't been added yet to the memory.
In process.
They
One
are in
slash X
process.
slash. Okay.
But if you send a prompt,
Yeah.
it should be active tokens or not.
If you send the prompts, it will convert into tokens and then add it to the memory after understanding it.
Okay.
Okay, so the squares in the blue,
You mean you mean
T0, and
okay.
yes,
You
yes,
mean,
Rajit.
suppose I am just giving a prompt, just
Hmm.
saying what is the current date? What is the date basically? What is the
Right.
date? Right.
Yeah.
So these are the four tokens.
Yeah.
According to ChatGPT, what we have seen, that ChatGPT just breaks the words.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it is, what is the date? These are the four tokens. So
Yeah.
according to this example, T0 and T1 is what is,
Yeah. Then
correct?
the date.
The date. Okay.
Now, yeah. So what is the date? So
So
four
first,
tokens are in the
after
memory
first
now.
token. Okay. So after first
Okay.
token, the token one, what is processed, and the three tokens are upcoming tokens.
Yeah. Rest of the
Yes, it?
ones upcoming tokens
Okay.
from T4 to 13 are upcoming. So
Okay.
they haven't been processed in the memory yet, but they have been broken down into tokens.
Tokens. Okay. 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 Okay.
Okay, so right
Yeah.
now the full tokens available are T0 to T13, right? And out of which only T up to T3 has been processed.
Okay.
Okay, so now we are dealing with the tokens, the squares in the blue, only with the active tokens. Okay, so whatever you see in blue color are the tokens in the memory, right?
Okay.
So let's move ahead. Let's keep adding more tokens. Basically, I'm just pressing the right arrow here on keyboard, and we are adding the tokens in the memory. So upcoming tokens keep moving up. We have reached 50 plus tokens now, 60, 70, and if we keep going, we will add 100 tokens. Okay, 0 to 9 are processed. So 110 tokens are processed properly. We'll keep moving ahead. Now we are reaching very close to 128, which is our token window limit. Now 127 and 128, right? Now we are at the max limit of the memory that is available. Now if we move ahead and add one more token,
So
so
now we
now
have 55 tokens, or was it not displayed?
uh, just a minute.
Okay, this way I understand. But
This
you said it's nearly full when there were only 55 tokens shown.
mm,
I
no,
think it was
um,
just a screen which was not translated, not
maybe,
transferred
yeah.
right,
The
or something
screen
like
was,
this.
yeah, the screen was frozen probably. Let me just back it up a little. Now, can you see there are active tokens, 128 active tokens?
127. No, no. Token 0. Okay, 28. Okay.
Yeah, so 0 to 127 in terms of our array thing, it is 128 tokens, and we have reached the maximum limit of tokens for this thing, right? All the tokens are now in the memory as per the window limits. So now, if we add one more token, it will take in that token, but it is now forgetting the first token that it has taken in. So T0 is forgotten. Is it visible, Thomas, properly?
Oh no,
Maybe the
not really.
screen.
It's T0 to T127. And
Okay, so it will
token
refresh a minute.
128 is upcoming.
Okay, Ajit, is it the same thing for you?
One early token forgotten. No, this
Okay,
is
so
clear.
for you the screen is actually showing up properly. I guess for Thomas it is frozen because it's not showing to Thomas. It's not showing the latest thing.
It says one early token forgotten with the error. I think if I am on the I am on the correct page. I think.
Yeah, yeah, you are on the correct screen. I
Okay.
guess for Thomas it's not streaming properly. Okay, Thomas, is it visible now?
I can't send a picture to the chat. No, nothing is visible.
Okay, I have shared it again. It will take a moment to properly be seen.
So you are sharing your screen now,
Yes,
and I don't see it.
you don't see it. Who's that?
Now it's better. Now I can see it.
Okay, fine. So we have 128 tokens again, right? You can see active tokens at 128 out of 128. So we have filled up the memory,
And we
right?
have one token forgotten, yeah.
Yeah, and then if we move ahead, one early token forgotten, and if we keep moving ahead, it will keep adding more tokens, definitely, but it will also keep forgetting the previous tokens. So the window stays the same.
So now you have more than one token forgotten, because for me
Yes.
it's only one forgotten token.
Okay, we have 30 tokens forgotten now.
It's a problem with this. I don't
And
know what's
maybe,
happening.
yeah, it's the problem with the, the software of video conferencing software.
Perhaps
But you,
Germany is too far away.
yeah, maybe it's taking time, or the flight is delayed, maybe.
Okay, it's understandable. So
Okay,
it's
so you
just
got the
a
gist of it, right?
theoretical demo because there will not be any AI model with only 128 tokens as think.
Right, right. So what we'll do is, as we progress, we'll keep continuing with one chat, or we can do it sort of a lab thing, where we will ask it to, write longer, longer responses, and probably we'll fill it up, fill up the context window very quickly, and then it will be able to show us what it's like when it forgets the whole thing. But we'll have to do it when it will take some time to get that demo right, because with ChatGPT now, the context window, even if it says 128, it has a context window to remember things across the chats.
Oh,
Yeah.
is it also in IDs? I don't think so.
No, it's not in the IDs, because in IDs they are basically implementing the API keys,
Okay.
not the actual thing. With the ChatGPT interface itself, there is no API key as such. It's their whole thing.
Okay. Also, we need to
What up?
focus how to tackle this in IDs too.
Yes, we need to do that, but because we need to understand how the
Yes,
this
yes. Okay.
focus window or context window is moving.
Yeah.
So yesterday when we discussed about README files and MD files and everything,
Yeah.
that is something we can use to
Mm-hmm.
understand
Keep
this
in
or
memory. Yeah.
handle this. Yeah.
Okay.
You are
Okay. Okay.
showing a screen now, or
Yes. Just
oh,
we are still on the same screen.
I just asked because I don't see any screen.
Okay. All right.
I,
Let me.
and now I see a bit, yeah.
Okay. So how many tokens do you see now?
Now I see 60 tokens forgotten.
Yeah. Right. Now you're on the same page. All right. So you understood the concept of it, how token window moves.
Okay.
Oh,
Yes,
this is
Thomas.
easy to understand, I would say.
This was easy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, so the interactive demo helped. I was actually a bit skeptical about this, that I was not sure if it will work or not, but I still went with it. So yeah, so this is what the whole thing. So now with these 60 forgotten tokens, we have actually processed 188 tokens, out of which 128 tokens are in the memory, and
Mm-hmm.
60 we have forgotten. I mean, the model has forgotten, not we. So this is the scenario. This is how the token window moves. Right. So we'll see an example for this. I'm not sure how. mm, okay, so what I've done is I have created a single window, because ChatGPT has context across other all the other chats and everything. So it remembers things from other chats as well, even if you are in this chat. So I'll just put here this. My favorite fruit is mango. Can you suggest 3 recipes I can try with it? Okay, and
Okay.
let's just send it. It will probably generate something about recipes that are related to mango or something. So mango smoothie is there, mango salsa is there, and mango firni is there. So it's an Indian dessert. Okay, for some reason it is showing responses that are tailored for Indian audience. Since yesterday it has started doing that, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just told it that my favorite fruit is mango. Let me just create a new chat and ask it, do you know what my fruit
So
is?
I only see one recipe, didn't you? Or what's it? No, it's a different recipe.
Sorry. Uh, what do you
No,
see right now?
it's now I see. Do you know what my favorite fruit is?
Okay, fine. Let me just do that again. Okay, so I just told it that mango is my favorite fruit, and can you tell me 3 recipes about using mango? And I changed into a new chat, and now I am asking, do you know what my favorite fruit is? Let's see if it remembers or not. So this will give us a clear idea whether ChatGPT has a or the context window across all the chats, or just with the same chat within it.
Ah, okay.
So yeah, it remembers from all the other chats as well, because it is clearly telling that yes, you told me earlier that your favorite fruit is mango.
But after some time, he will forget.
If the window overflows, it will forget. So let's
Right.
try something which we did on the first thing. Explain machine learning. Probably he must have lost the context window on this. What was the explain machine learning? Let's ask it here. Do you remember what was the first thing you explained to me? From what I can see here, very first thing you asked me to explain was machine learning. So it's still in the context window.
Hmm.
So it still remembers that I asked it to explain machine learning as the first prompt. So that machine learning part is still in the context window. So 128,000 tokens includes these many chats probably.
Okay.
Not every chat entirely, because each chat has a context window of 128. Let's do this. Thomas, can you see the screen properly? I mean,
I
if you're
hope it's the screen. I will try to reconnect. Perhaps it gets better then. Just wait a minute.
okay, fine, no problem.
So I connect it again now. And I think I see it better now, but I'll just continue. No, I cannot hear you. I see you are talking, but I cannot hear anything. Oh no.
Yeah, I think also I cannot hear Akshay.
Okay, then it,
Am I audible properly?
now
Yeah,
it's
now
okay.
now it's better.
Okay, yeah. Just a minute. Yeah. Uh, Thomas, can you see it now properly?
I don't know what I should see. I see from what I
What do you
can
see?
see here, the very first thing you asked me to explain was machine learning.
Okay, yeah. So you are on the right screen then. Okay. So what we're doing here is we were trying to determine if ChatGPT has still in the memory that what was the first thing that we asked. For that, can you see my mouse moving, Thomas?
Yep, yep.
Yeah. Okay, fine. So what we did is I scrolled all the way to the bottom of these chats when we started these sessions, and the first chat that we did with ChatGPT, we opened that chat, and the first thing that I asked it was explain machine learning to me, right?
Yeah, sure.
And in this new chat that we just created, I asked it, "Do you remember what was the first thing you explained to me?" And it said that the first thing that I explained was machine learning. So it still remembers that the whole chat, all across all the chats, it remembers the entire thing. It's not like you create a new chat and it loses the context of the previous chat. So it still has the context of previous chats, all these chats, and the current chat as well. So with all these long chats and everything, we haven't crossed the window of 128 tokens, 28,000 tokens with ChatGPT. So it's going to be a bit difficult to
Show it.
demonstrate. Yeah. Let's try asking uh, how many chats we have had till now. 13 conversations together so far. So these are all 13.
Okay.
Yeah, 13 conversations. So these are 13 chats we have had so far. And
I don't have ability to
right.
track.
So it's not going to tell us how many tokens exactly it has been. I don't have ability to track or show you your exact token usage across all our chats. What I can see is only message counts and conversation depth, not the actual token totals. If you want precise token stats, you'd need to check them in the OpenAI API dashboard. Okay, so it cannot show in the API dashboard because these are not APIs. This is something which is directly into the chat itself. So it says if you were using the API directly, but we are not using API. We are directly interacting with the ChatGPT.
But
But
if
since you are on
you
ChatGPT
just
free,
type yes and start it, it will try to estimate it.
let's see.
So for getting to 128,000 tokens, we would need a longer
So
time.
yeah, only 11,300 tokens we have burned through out of 128,000. So we are gonna. It is going to take a longer time to get through this.
Mhm.
We are well within the token window, and we are still on the free version.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So should we get a cost estimate from this to do these many chats? How much cost it will be? It will charge if we were to use API for this.
Okay.
It's $5 per million input tokens and
Uh,
$15 per million output tokens. So your tokens input was 5,300, output was 6,000 tokens approximately. So it would cost us about 35 cents to do these many chats with APIs. 35 paisa only. It's not even 1 rupee.
Uh,
Great.
Yeah. So we've drifted a.
okay. It
Yes,
translates
Thomas.
from cents to rupees because you are from India. Yeah, okay.
Okay. I was actually supposed to say paise, not cents, but it just came out wrong. But okay, it's 35 paisa is like nothing. For these many chats and these many tokens, 35 paisa is like nothing.
You can't buy anything in 35 paisa in India now.
Yeah, nothing,
but
nothing.
but calculated tokens we can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, so this is how the context windows work. I hope the concept is clear, and it is right now it is difficult to demonstrate. When I first time when I had a session on context window, this was almost 2 years ago. I
Hmm.
was able to display the difference between losing a context window and having a context window within one chat of ChatGPT. I mean, I
Okay.
started the chat in the beginning of the session. It was a 4 hour long session, and I continued everything in the same chat. And at the end, when it was about context window, I just asked it about the first thing that I asked, and it forgot.
Hmm.
So I was able to demonstrate that within one chat only. But now the context window has grown so big that it's been a week we have been using ChatGPT for these sessions, and we still are only into 11,300 tokens. We haven't even covered 20% of its capacity.
So for demonstrating it, you could write, give me a long explanation about Python language, its usages, and so on, and perhaps it would write enough words for it.
We'll
But
have to
I
do it
think
several times.
it will be too long
Yeah,
to
I
do
probably
this.
will have to ask it to write an entire book on Python.
Yeah, then we could try to break it with this. But please do it
Yeah.
after our session.
Yeah. Yes. All right. So these are few things that I wanted to demonstrate, but since the context window thing is like it's very large, so we cannot actually demonstrate the whole thing. But what we can do is uh, we can go into the uh, methods of taking care of context window. Even if it is long enough right now, we are still going to need that. When we will work with code bases and everything, we'll need to manage the context windows properly. So there are
Okay.
basically three methods to manage the context windows, and out of which uh, the first is basically that deals with uh, chunking the content into smaller parts. So that is
Okay.
basically break down large inputs into smaller ones, divide overwhelming content into digestible and manageable sections. So basically, since we all have programming background, I can comfortably say that whenever we solve a problem in programming or whenever we
Hmm.
implement any features in programming, we don't just do it. I mean, we just don't, okay, this is the feature, I'll start implementing it. We don't do that in that fashion. We will
Okay.
first break down that feature into smaller parts, smaller sections. Then we might even make it into smaller modules, and then we develop each and every module in a way that when we develop the next module, the previous module does not need to change anything, right? in this
Yeah.
similar fashion in a similar fashion, we can write prompts and we can get things done. And alongside that, we can ask the model to uh, you know keep creating step by step context files as MD files or something like that, for it to go back and check things. So if we
Okay.
start a new chat and it's forgetting things, then we can ask complete directly that go and read this particular file. You will get the entire context, and then you'll be able to understand the whole thing. So that is
Okay.
what we can do. With cursor, what I have experienced is it burns through the whole context window very quickly, like 30-35 messages to and fro, and it will reach the 400k context window because it's generating the code. It's not just a text message. So generating code is something which overwhelms the context window very quickly. So we can do that. We can break down the inputs into several smaller parts and then execute them one by one. Another thing we can do with this is optimize the context usage uh, to chunk. To each chunk becomes a smaller context the AI can handle effectively. So whenever we are adding a function, we will only explain about a small part of feature, not the entire feature,
Okay.
right? Only the part that it needs to know. And once it executes that properly, once it implements that properly, then we'll move to the next part, and then to the next, and then to the next one. And if in between we need to go back and change something, the previous chunks of tokens will still be in the memory, so that it will be able to go back and change things. So once we implement one module, we will close that chat over there. We can update everything into the readme file or md file, and we
Okay.
can move to the new chat, and that's how we will do it. So tomorrow, if we need to come back, or maybe 6 months down the line, if we need to come back for a particular module to change something, we can
Hmm.
just open that chat that we have done and continue from where we left off last time. So it will be able to remember that. So we will not overflow the context window completely.
Hmm.
We
Okay.
will only use what's needed or what is useful. And even if there are number of tokens remaining in that particular context window, we can leave it as it is and start a new chat with new context window, so that it won't get overflown. So
Okay.
we can leave some space to come back and make changes. So we don't have to explain everything from start. So that is one way of doing it. First is breaking down the prompts into smaller chunks. Second is optimizing the usage of context window. Even if there are empty tokens, we can leave them empty for now, and we can come back to use them
What do
afterwards.
you mean with smaller chunks? How to do this? I didn't understand this.
Okay, so basically, for example, Thomas, if you are implementing an entire new feature into a system, right? So we just don't go and directly implement the feature. We break it down into smaller parts first, and those smaller parts are basically classes and methods that we use, right? That's how we do
Yeah.
it. Okay, so in terms of AI, when you are explaining the feature to the AI, you don't explain the entire feature at once. You explain the part, only that part which is needed to implement the smaller function or create that particular class or create those particular methods. You only explain that part. Once that is done properly, when you have tested it, it's okay, it is working properly, then you move to the next part. So you break it down into smaller chunks and get the work done in smaller parts.
Okay, so with not try to write everything in one go, we get
Right,
smaller chunks and we won't hit the limits of the context window.
Hmm.
right. That is one method of doing it. The second method that I said was optimizing the context usage. So it's not about it's not only about writing the smaller messages. Let's say you have to write 5 different classes, and you ask the AI model to write each class individually. After writing all the 5 classes, still there are tokens that haven't been used. Okay, so you just don't go ahead and continue with the next function there. If that particular job or that particular task is complete with those 5 classes written completely, then you leave that chat there only. You start a new chat for the new feature that you're going to implement. You do not utilize those empty tokens that you have left behind, because then that will leave some room for you to come back afterwards and continue from the same thing.
Okay,
Am I making any sense?
yeah, but yeah, I think in the IDE, it's not every chat we can access, it's only the newest chat we can access, or do I remember it wrong?
There has to be a way. I guess in VS Code with Copilot, there is a way that you can visit the previous chats. I'm not sure if it shows you the uh, context window clearly in VS Code, but you can just simply ask how many tokens I have gone through till now, so it will be able to tell you.
Yeah, I tried with Eclipse now and I don't see the older chats.
Okay, there must be a icon on the top right corner that has a sort of a meter or a analog clock kind of a icon.
I have tried this in VS Code, but I also still not getting the
There's no
older
feature for
chats.
that. You cannot see
Maybe.
older chats.
Yes, you're right. You cannot. I
Okay,
cannot see
fine.
in VS Code, and Thomas has experience in Eclipse. So on both the sides, I cannot. We
There is
cannot
no
see
way
the
of,
older.
okay.
Yeah, yeah,
With
correct.
cursor, there is a feature you can go, you see the list of all the chats for that project, and you can go to any chat and continue from that.
In the same chat, we can go longer in the previous thing. But suppose
Yeah.
if you close the chat and if you create the new chat or something, I'm not getting the old chat
Oh, okay.
like this.
So
So
it's kind of,
that's the, maybe I'm
so
doing
it's kind
something
of
wrong.
turn off.
Need to see.
We need to find out,
Yeah.
because there has to be a way to go to the previous chats, because it's not like
Okay.
you're utilizing the entire context window every time.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. In VS Code, I have a show chats at the top of the chat window.
Yeah, there has to be something to
Maybe
at the top
it's
window.
right. I don't see much things here, but maybe this is a right place and I don't see anything here because I didn't use many new chats
Okay.
with VS Code.
Ajit, do you see previous chats over there on the top of the window?
There is a small history type show chats or something.
Yeah, click on that. Can you see the previous chats?
It shows only single line.
I mean,
Uh,
just the
Yes.
chat title it shows.
Yes, correct.
If you click on any previous chat, can you see the entire chat?
Uh, Not
I
really.
think for me it's
Because
only
I
the
tried it.
actual set chat with it, which it shows here.
I think I need to explore more for this.
Okay, fine. Because that feature is in cursor, and cursor is based on VS Code, so
Yes,
it's
yes, yes.
not
It's
that
there. It's
different.
there. I can
It's
say it's
there.
there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's there.
Okay,
It's there.
cool.
It says three
So
chats
yes.
because usually when I was working on a Java thing before,
Mhm.
I have not changed the chats. I was continuously doing the same thing in same chat. So
Okay,
now it shows 3 months ago, 1 month ago, 3 days ago, like this.
right.
So it has restoring points where we
Yes.
can click and go there like this. Yes, yes,
So
yes.
that is with every prompt.
Yeah, yeah.
So you can
Correct.
go and restore the code at every point in time.
Yeah.
So if you add a prompt and that messes up your code, you can just go back and undo that. So all the
Mhm.
changes done all across the project for that particular prompt are reverted back, and you still have the same application that is running.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, every chat has a context window, and if you don't utilize all the tokens, it's okay. You can just move to the new chat and start from there, so that you can come back to a chat previously done and make changes without explaining everything from scratch. You can still utilize the tokens from that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
I think the chat history does not really work so long.
Okay. Maybe Thomas, you haven't created those many chats with Copilot yet.
See, okay. We have to try it later when we have more different chats.
Yes, but it will be there. Don't worry about that. Since if you start creating new chat for every new feature that you implement, then the chat will be there. The previous chats will be there, because I have list of chats that are there for every project. Like I have been working since 1.5 2 years now with Cursor, and I have all the history of all the projects that I have been working with Cursor. So I can
So
revert back to the
in
first
Cursor,
thing.
you get the whole history.
Yes. So you must be having the same feature in VS Code also. You just need to start,
Um,
getting into the habit of creating new chat for every new feature.
maybe I thought I created more chats, especially in Eclipse, and I don't see them there, but I don't know what's happening there.
Okay.
And I also don't see the show chats in Eclipse, so this is happening here. It's just missing from Eclipse, I think.
Or maybe some
Hidden
some
settings.
settings, or maybe, yeah, some hidden settings must be there. If you change that, you will see that your previous chats as well. We'll have to explore that first.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. And so there are three total strategies under chunking information. We saw the breakdown of large inputs into smaller ones, then optimizing context usage, not to utilize all the tokens that are available in the given chat. We can, if we are done with the work, we can leave the rest of the tokens as is, so we can come back and use them again. And the third is very similar to the first one, which is instead of a 50-page document, you can process one-page summary, and you can do it sequentially.
Okay.
So this is something, it can be implemented with this coding software. Says whenever you have a large documentation, you don't give the entire documentation to the to the this coding IDE. You give that documentation to ChatGPT and ask it to summarize it in a way where there are less tokens utilized, but you still get the same output. And then you give that output to the coding IDE or the programming IDE, whatever you are using, so that it will consume less tokens, understanding the exact same thing. So this is, they call it the smart processing, but this is, I think, just a basic thing that we can do. Instead of giving all the 50 pages, we can give just summary of 2-3 pages to it, and it will still understand the same context as it will understand from the 50 pages. But we will end up burning less tokens for this. Understood,
Yeah.
Thomas?
Yeah, okay.
Okay. I just realized that I have been showing you guys my ChatGPT screen, and I've been reading from the PowerPoint presentation. So let me just switch that. Okay.
So you explained the screen which we could not see.
But yeah, I mean, this was the screen.
I think Thomas cannot see a screen, maybe.
Yeah, no, I can see it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this was the
Everything's
screen
fine.
that I just explained,
Mm-hmm.
and this is the next technique of you know, using the context window effectively, which is to deal with the anchoring the context, basically. So anchoring the context is basically what we're doing is we are repeating things that are important. For example, I mean, these are the strategic goal reminders. So it's like inserting periodic reminders of your objectives throughout longer conversations to prevent the AI from losing focus, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, if you are writing a book, okay, and if it's a science fiction or maybe some fiction kind of book, and the story is in a very, very long, like a 600-700 pages book, it's going to be. So we have to create some anchors in the story, the important happenings and important dialogues, important events. We have to create that and keep that as a reference. So every time you feel that the model is forgetting about the past tokens, you just throw that at it. Like, remember, we are writing for a beginner audience, or keep technical jargons minimum and focus on the practical examples, these kind of things. So this usually comes handy when you want to keep the keep the model on the track with the output, because sometimes it when it forgets that what was the initial instruction, it will it seems that from the choice of words and everything, it seems that it is still on the track, but one output you will get suddenly that will completely throw you off the track, because you will not understand what just happened, because a prompt ago it was working very well, showing you everything properly, and suddenly the output is completely off the track, and you will have no chance to think about things, that what happened exactly. And it mostly in my experience happens when, I mean, I don't know if it is the timing or something like that, but it happens only when you are in imminent need of AI support. Some document, something you need to create, and
Mhm.
at that time only it loses some tokens, and you will find that it is going off track. So whenever we are talking or we are sending any prompts, it is a good practice to repeat the instructions in between the prompts.
Yeah.
So even if it loses the initial tokens, it still has the window that has the instructions that you have given. So it's okay to repeat the instructions after every 3 4 prompts, but in a subtle way that it does not sound like you are repeating it.
Okay.
Okay, but if that will keep the instructions within the token window all the time. So even if it forgets the earlier part, it will have the middle part. Even if it forgets the middle part, it will have the latter part. At some point in the chat, you will still have those instructions embedded.
Okay.
Yeah. So
But
that is one technique. So you can anchor it again and again. Yes, Thomas.
how do you know, or how do I know when I have to do this? Just every
It's a
two, three, four prompts, or
See with
because yeah,
ChatGPT,
it's work
it's a
to do
good
it every
practice.
time.
No. It's not worth to do it every time, and you should not do it every time. Every 3 4 prompts, when there have been long outputs, or the response has been very lengthy, it has written very long sentences, something like that, that is something which is a clue that it needs some realignment with the context. So that happens after every 3 4 prompts, usually with ChatGPT. In my observation, every fifth response ChatGPT generates in any context, it starts creating longer sentences. Usually it creates very simple, every sentence has not more than 8 or 9 words, something like that. But if it is adding more than 15 words in one sentence, then there is a good chance that it is sliding towards the edge of losing the context window. So that's the time when you add the instructions again into your input prompt. Am
Okay.
I making any sense? Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just so it's not concrete. So
No,
I
it's not
think you can't
concrete.
tell it complete concrete because AI is not concrete, but would be better if we could say, okay, do it after every fifth prompt, or
Yeah.
do it after every 10th prompt.
Yes. So I myself follow a thumb rule that I do it after every fourth or fifth prompt, depending on the size of the conversation. If the conversation is shorter, then I would do it after every fourth prompt, and I would not add the instructions as it is. I would just try to slip it into the conversation,
Okay,
that kind of a thing. But the prompt is getting longer, then I would do it after, you know, when you read what AI has responded, you start seeing longer sentences. So that is an indication that you should, probably remind it to stay on track, because probably in next 2 or 3 prompts, it's going to go off the context. That is a sort of an indication. And this indication is consistent with all the AI models, not just with ChatGPT. With Gemini, it's the same. With Grok, it's the same thing. Grok is even notorious with these kind of things. And all the other, even with DeepSeek, it starts building longer sentences before it goes off the token window. So that's the time of adding the or reminding the instructions. So basically, repeatedly reminding the instructions after every 4 or 5 prompts is anchoring the context. So you are creating anchor points throughout the conversation. So when the context window is moving ahead and it's forgetting the previous tokens, it still has those instructions within the context window because you have anchored it during the conversation. So it won't forget that, and it will, even if the context window has moved up and new tokens are coming in, old are forgotten, the instructions will still stay with it. So the conversation won't go off track because of that.
okay.
Yeah. So there are some methods of doing it. So for long conversations, extended dialogues fills context windows quickly, that we know already, right? Now that we have understood properly. Then the one way of doing it is strategic summary. Then we can do a context reset, which is reintroduce essential information efficiently. So this is something you can do directly without slipping it into the conversation or something like that. You can just say that let's go back and review the rules, and you can add all the rules of that conversation again, and then it will come back to the thing, and then it will continue generating the same responses that it used to. And then there is seamless continuation. So resume with refreshed or focused context. Even if you start ask it to generate the summary of the entire chat from time to time, it will keep the entire thing in context properly. So in that case, what we can do is we can use the self reflection or the self critique techniques that we learned yesterday. So in this case, to keep the context ready, you can use this self reflection technique, where it will think about the responses till now and also refresh the context in the process, and also will give you the improved responses for the upcoming prompts. So self reflection technique is something which I would recommend to do it if you are going to seamlessly continue the chat with any AI model.
Do we see an example of it?
Yes, I have a few prompts for that. Uh, okay, since we haven't hit any context window yet, mm, I have three prompts basically. One for single chat context, another is for long chat context. Let's simulate this. Let me share the GPT screen first. Okay, I'll create a new chat, and I would like to display a long chat context. And start a long conversation about history of India. Okay. Let's see what it does. Okay, so it's saying that set a token limit and add a message that will overflow. Let's set the token limit to only 50 tokens, or let's just make it shorter, 20 tokens. Okay, so let's see, explain in short the history of India. Skip the period from 1800s to 1950. Let's skip that period. Let's see what happens. So basically now it has reached the token limit. Okay, because we set 20 tokens and it has now reached the token limits into this. Okay.
But 20 tokens
Yeah.
should should have been lost in the chat in the first conversation or not.
Yeah, but somehow it hasn't lost it into the first. I was hoping it will lose in this one only because it's quite a long test, even if I ask it for a short history, but it has not. So I asked to do it a longer version and it has hit the token limit. So maybe their tokening strategy is not what it told us it is. Every one word, one token, that is not the strategy. It is probably taking more than one word in one token. But since we were understanding the concept, it gave us the example of that. The actual tokening strategy is different.
Okay. A network
Yeah,
error occurred.
yeah. So let's see what happens. Maybe it will go through now. Yeah, it hasn't yet hit the 20 tokens limit yet. Okay. What's the status on the token count? Did we hit the 20 token limit yet? If it has gone over that, then clearly it's not understanding what's happening. Not yet. Okay, so I said 20 tokens. It
20
says 20
messages.
messages.
It says not 20 tokens, it says 20 messages.
Okay, so we have done five,
10 messages.
total 10 messages. So I need to send five more messages for this. So we are at 10. So should we do five more message or should we reduce the thing? Reduce the window to five. Okay. So now it will only remember the five messages. Okay. What happened in the 1800s to 1950? And so I did a typo over here, but that's okay, still answering. What was the first? Okay, so this, it should not, it need not say this every time, but now since we have crossed the limit of five messages that we set up, it does not remember what happened before five messages. So it's simulating that response. So it's in this simulation, I don't remember which timeline you first asked me to skip. So basically, what I asked it to skip was this from 1800s to 1950. I asked it to skip, so it did that. But since we have overflown the token limit or overflown the context window, it is not able to remember that first. Now, since this is only a simulation, it sounds really, sort of a dramatic thing to even to read it. But when this happens in real world, when we are implementing something, this kind of messages, when they appear on the screen that I don't remember what was that or I made a mistake with that, this can create some kind of a, sort of a panic in real world. So to avoid this, there are the prompting techniques that we have been using. So within these five messages that we have sent, Did we repeat any rules? We did not repeat any rules, right? Ajit?
No,
Yeah, we did not repeat any rules. So we set the rules here, token limit to 20,
we
and
didn't
then we
made it
changed.
remember. Mhm. Yeah.
Yes?
We did not made him remember it in between.
Yeah, but we did change the token limit to 5 after that.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is something we changed. It remembers that this is the token limit now,
Okay.
and then we ask it to give the what we ask it to ignore in uh, the first message, and then it forgot. So if we had uh, added any of the techniques that we learned, then it would have remembered because only the first 5 messages, the last 5 messages it will remember. So what was the second message before we ask for the token limit status? Now do a longer version, right? So let's ask what was the token limit that I changed during the conversation. So that is within the first last 5 messages. So the within the current 5 messages simulation window, I can only see that you most recently set the limit to 5. Anything before that, like earlier limits, has been forgotten in the simulation. So it still remembers that the token limit is 5.
Okay.
Did I ask you
Yeah, what I don't understand, you say token limit, but it gets it as a message limit.
message? Yeah, it's treating the token limits as message limits. But I mean, this is just to get the concept right,
Yeah,
how it works. Yeah.
but
So you
we
got the
say
concept right.
token limit and ChatGPT understands it as message limit,
Yeah.
and I don't know why.
Yeah. Let's ask it why the token limit is being treated as message limit. This is probably because when it said earlier, I cannot exactly tell you how many tokens you have burned through, but I can give you an estimate kind of a thing. So maybe it is trying to prevent sharing that information that how many tokens we have burned through directly. So maybe that is because it is associating tokens directly with messages. So let's see what it responds with for this one. So it understands that tokens are not equal to messages. But since we ask it to create a simulation, it is for the easy understanding, it is treating tokens as messages. So when I say 20 tokens, it said 20 messages.
Okay.
So here
Okay.
it says since we can't really count every token in real time here, we use messages as a proxy to simulate the overflow.
It would be
Which
nice
is
if it could tell us this before.
yeah, that would have been really nice. The confusion could have been avoided. But yeah, it assumed that we would understand, you know,
Yeah, it's understandable, but just
initially a bit confusing.
not a nice way to do it.
Yeah, did you assume that we will understand token equal to messages as for the simulation? Yes, exactly. I assume token messages are only a simplified stand-in for a simulation, not it's easier to demonstrate. That is the thing. It did really assume that we will understand that messages are easier to count instead of tokens.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the thing. So these are the techniques of keeping the tokens and everything in check. Yeah. So we did not use any technique here. Uh, these things is just for just to simulate how the tokens are. But what we did is when I asked it to you know ask it to tell me that what was the token limit before I changed it to 5, it said that the token limit was 5 all the time because it forgot that the token limit was set to 20, which was
Yeah,
before those 5 messages.
yeah, sure.
Yeah, that is the thing.
I wanted to see
Hmm.
how we could do this thing, seamless continuation, context reset, and something like this.
Okay, we can do that when we'll start coding. Probably, I think we will start doing that from Monday or Tuesday because understanding these things first was important. So probably from Tuesday, let's say, we can start using or implementing that with the coding context. We will
Okay.
build an entire application from scratch without writing a single line of code by ourselves.
Okay.
Everything will be done by some AI model, either on Cursor or we decided VS Code. Yesterday, I installed VS Code and logged in with my Git profile. I haven't tried anything yet with that, but we'll do it directly on the live share screen on Tuesday. So that day we will be able to understand what to do, how we'll start doing things and all. Okay.
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 Yeah. So we have a lab session today. After this, you can do it on Monday. No problem with that.
Hmm.
So the first thing is context overflow. Initiate a 20-line conversation with AI until it demonstrably forgets early details and context. So this is something which is you can try with a local model if you have Olama or something installed because they have very smaller context windows. You can try doing longer chats with them and they will perfectly demonstrate that. So that can be done. And the second part is the context refresh. Once that context window is lost, you can reset by summarizing and re-anchoring the original goals effectively so that you will be able to retain whatever is left in the token window. And then you can compare the result, analyze performance before versus after implementing the context refresh technique. So you can do that. So that's the thing that we can do. So today we are closing a bit early because we didn't have many examples to run through,
Hmm.
but we did simulate something. I'll share this PPT uh, on the
On
group
WhatsApp.
today, yeah, on WhatsApp. And if you
Hmm.
have any questions regarding to today's session, then you can ask me directly, no problem. And
Hmm.
I mean, this is all for the today's session. Are
Hmm.
there any confusions? Are there any questions?
Questions
You want?
maybe will come
Yes.
while we are doing coding. More
Yeah,
and
no
more.
problem. That time we'll have a lot of questions definitely. Do you want me to also share that HTML simulation that we created that we saw, the moving
For,
context window thing?
for me, I think I'm okay because I understood that part. Maybe Thomas, you
Yeah,
want
for
the
me, it's
HTML?
also okay without.
Okay.
Okay, fine, great.
Um, my boss wants me to ask you what you think, what is the best AI to get fresh ideas, concepts,
Best AI tool?
best AI tool or best AI model, what to use for ideas for concepts.
Okay. Uh, I actually am very comfortable with Cursor, so I'll definitely recommend Cursor only because it has so many features and the entire setup that they have done is very good. Uh, it's very similar to VS Code. So if your office or developers in your office are comfortable with VS Code interface, then they won't see much difference with cursor. It will be easy to migrate from VS Code to cursor for them. Also, even the free version of cursor has good amount of request and everything with it. I think they have 50 code completion request every month under the free version, and which is, I think, more than what GitHub does, right? GitHub
So
Copilot does.
does it really works well with Java as we work with Eclipse? Because Eclipse was really a good user interface, and because we are using Eclipse more and more, so we feel that Eclipse is really good for Java programming or something. So is it
Okay.
will beat Eclipse for Java programming there, or how it says?
Okay, what we
So
can do is what I do with my Android applications, because no matter how you develop an Android application, it is not complete unless you use Android Studio for it, because there are packages and libraries and AVDs, virtual devices. Everything is so very well managed in Android Studio. No matter where you develop an app, you have to come to Android Studio at some point to deploy the app or to properly test the app and everything. So what I do is I open the Android Studio, I open that project into it and just keep it open. I don't change anything in Android Studio.
Mm-hmm,
Then I'd open the same project in Cursor, do all the changes and everything in Cursor with the help of AI.
mm-hmm,
Most of the installations and package inclusion exclusion is done via CLI in Cursor.
mm-hmm,
And once that is done, I'll go to Android Studio again, just check that if the latest project have been reflected or not, and run that project into the virtual device, and it runs very smoothly. Same thing we can do with Eclipse. We can open the project in Eclipse, and we can open the same project in Cursor. We can do the code changes in Cursor or any preferred AI tool, no problem. And then we can just try and test it through the Eclipse itself. So your comfort with Eclipse UI won't go away. You don't have to get rid of that. You'll still be able to make changes by your hand within the Eclipse, and you will still be able to use all the latest features of Cursor, and both things will work simultaneously with each other. That can work. I mean, that has worked for me for last 6-7 months properly. I have not hit any roadblocks because with this kind of technique. So probably that will work for you as well.
so which AI model does Cursor use?
All the AI models that VS Code has, plus they have their own AI model called Cursor Mini, and they have
You
a
mean GitHub?
agent.
Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
All the AI models. You mean what GitHub Copilot has, right?
Yes, all the AI models that GitHub Copilot has, or the VS Code, whenever you use it in VS Code, all the models you are using there, Cursor has all the same models. Plus, they have their own model, which is Cursor Mini.
Mhm,
And what it does is basically Cursor has a agent built in. So whenever you assign a task to Cursor, whatever it is, may it be just copying files from one place to another, writing the code, or fixing the bugs, or testing, or syntax check errors, whatever it is. So it has divided all the programming tasks into several categories. Those
mhm.
categories are based on the complexity of the task. So, for example, let's say if you have to copy a bunch of files from one directory to another, it is a very basic task. It's not that complex, right?
Yeah, yeah.
For a human to just copy and paste it. But if
Yeah.
you ask Cursor to do it, then it will categorize it as a very low-level task, low-level basic task, and it will assign it to a model which is not that intelligent. Okay.
Okay. What I have one question here.
Yes.
Suppose I'm just chatting with AI in IDE. Suppose
Mhm.
5 to 6 tasks I have completed with ChatGPT 5.
Okay.
In between, I switched for some free version in the Copilot, something
Yes.
like GPT Mini or something. So what it
Yes.
happens? The context window,
The
which
context continues.
okay with and suppose context continues with the ChatGPT 5 or the new one which I have taken.
The context is shared with all the models.
Okay, so the expiry
So
thing will also work like that only. Context
yes,
expiry.
so
Oh,
yes, so if you are working with GPT-5 and if you switch the model, it won't erase everything that you have done with GPT-5. It will continue that with the new model. But Cursor itself has a 400,000 context window.
okay,
So if you move that window, then the previous tokens will be forgotten, and those will be forgotten by all the models.
okay.
Yeah.
And
So
what about VS Code?
I'm not sure about the context window of VS Code. You will have to probably ask, because in Cursor, when you start writing prompts, there is a, on the bottom right side there is a count where it shows you how many tokens you have utilized out of 400,000, how many percent of context window you have
Oh,
utilized.
that's nice. That's nice.
So it's real time all the time, and it the context window fills up very quickly.
Mhm.
So you have to keep track of the the changes that you are doing. Once you
Okay.
reach near about 80 to 90%, it's better to create and update the MD files with all the work you have
Oh,
done.
okay, okay. Just to make remember. Correct. That
Yeah,
makes sense,
yeah,
actually. Yeah.
that makes sense.
This is
So
the
it's
actual
very,
problem which I am facing whenever I'm
yes,
using an AI to do a big task or something. So as
yes,
I will not forget, I have just not I can say wasted, but I have learned a lot by utilizing my 10 days for a simple documentation things.
yes. So that is
That's
a bit of a learning curve with AI tools. Without, I mean, if you don't have anyone to tell you how
Mhm.
to do and what to do things, and if you don't understand these technical things with AI, sometimes it becomes a larger learning curve to get
Yeah.
simpler things. But that's okay. That happened with every one of us when we were learning programming, so that's okay. All right, yes. So
Okay.
that is the thing for today.